Happy Mother's Day. I have a story to share with you. It's a true story. I'm loving true stories, and I love access to them. It is melancholy. It comes from the Holocaust. It's a story about a man, Solomon Rosenberg, who told the story to highlight a mother's sacrificial love. And all of you who are a mother to a human or a creature, you know that you give up so much for the love of that child. So Solomon Rosenberg and his wife and 2 children were arrested in World War II, and they were taken to a concentration camp. And every day, the father, the mother, the children were told to work. And the rule of the camp was, if you could work, you can live. If you can't work, you're exterminated. Hard words. So every day, Solomon, who told this true story, he would come back to the camp after a hard day's work, and he would look for the faces of his wife and his 2 children. And as long as he could see their faces, he would then huddle together with them every night, and they would thank God for one more day of life. And so one day, Solomon comes home and he doesn't see their faces. And he notices that the oldest son, Joshua, is huddled in a corner crying. And Solomon goes up to Joshua and says, "Where is your brother?" The younger of the 2 children was always frail, and Solomon knew that he would be the first to go. He had seen his parents marched off to death. And he was worried about David, his youngest. And sure enough, Joshua could hardly say it, but he said they came for David because he was too weak to work. And Solomon said, "Okay, where's your mother?" This is divine love. Joshua said that little David was crying and very scared because they came to take him away. And of course, what did the mother do? She took his hand and went with him. Very sad story. And it's a reminder as well of the mercies of God's love, that we're even all here with that kind of problem in this humanity. But we see here the crucible of how far love goes for a child. She took his hand and said, "I'll go with you." That is God. That is the Lord's love on the cross. That is God's love for you every day. If you think that you can't do it, if you don't feel strong enough, she will walk with you. Today, of course, is Mother's Day, and we're profoundly affected by the meaning of love. We often are in touch with the joy of our mothers and our grandmothers. Today, we reflect on the qualities. You know, the reading in 1 Kings is really, theologians will say it's really about the wisdom of King Solomon. But King Solomon's wisdom said, look at the qualities. Look at the qualities of a mother. Number 1, caring. If we look at this story and we think about, even in the story where the king says, sever the child, this mother was so caring. She kept her child by her breast, by her side all the time. That's a reminder that the Lord has you close, always. That a mother's love isn't just caring, but compassionate. That mother, not only in the true story in World War II, but the story of King Solomon and his judgment, that mother kept that child close and was willing to sacrifice mothering him, willing to let that child go so that he could live. And so the number one quality of every mother that we see in the Divine Mother Mary, we see it in every mother we know, we see it in the true story we just heard. That is self-sacrificing. Every mother, no price is high enough for a mother to pay for her child, right? Our mothers went far beyond what we'll ever know. The anguish, but also the joy, the sacrifice. If you think about how all the ways that your mother sacrificed for you, and I had to think back. I had to take a walk, a long walk, and I even got lost. Joe can testify to this. I got lost the other day. I was thinking about all the ways I could imagine my mother sacrificed, and God whispered into my heart, you don't know half of it. And that's good. That's okay. That's the mystery of God. I wonder what God whispered to Mary, Mother Mary. I wonder what God talked to her about when she knew about her son. But as I was walking and getting lost in the catacombs of Madison Heights, and there's no reasoning to those streets. I mean, I probably walked 2 miles with Gertie lost. But anyway, it was a great thinking time, and I was thinking about Mom. I was thinking about all the things that she did, and I thought about all the nights she must have stayed awake with all 4 of us, so close together in age. And all the nights we were coughing and feverish, and she stayed awake, and she wiped our brow. I think about all the nights where we were crying, or the times we told her we were crying, and she stayed awake, and she held us. I think about all of the times where maybe we were out on a hot date as teenagers, and they worried about, I dated, until I met Joe, I dated some pretty nefarious characters. I liked the dark guy. And yeah, oh, Janine. But, Mom and Dad didn't approve of who I liked. Just the guy with the hot rod. I just think about all the times where they just kind of set me free a little bit and worried and hoped that I'd come home alive or safe. All those times where we just stay after school and we wouldn't stay in touch and they wondered where we were. We'd run away from class and Quint. He would run and there go Quint. But all the worries, it was just one time, all those worries that our parents have for us. I think about all the times when Dad was working so hard to feed all 4 of us.
6 of us.
Well, them too, but I mean us kids. And how many times Mom would have dinner on the table and we'd run out of food and Mom would say, oh, I'm not hungry anyway. How many times did school start up in the fall and she bought us new clothes so that we would look good? And Mom wore the same clothes year after year after year. These are physical, fairly surface examples. And while I was lost in the catacombs of Madison Heights, I can't tell you how many very specific, personal examples I came up with by the grace of God of all the ways that moms care. I mean, all the way to the extreme of this mother who holds her son's hand in World War II. I mean, look at the spectrum of sacrifice. How profound does that feel to your heart? That's what today is about. And it's not easy to think about the story that I shared earlier. But if I don't share it, we forget. If I don't share it, we forget the extreme. And if I do share it, we cry, and then we give thanks for all of the other side of the spectrum, of all the joy that our mothers give to us, all the times they hold us and they watch us. And I am thinking about our niece, Bella, even before Matthew was born. And all the times I'd come home after work and she would say, let's go to the park and play. And I'd think, oy vey, I'm tired. But then I thought, I'm going to have only a few years with her. and I'm sure you too as well. Only a few years to watch them in their joy before they grow up. So the spectrum of tragic sacrifice, and I think of Mother Mary, I can't get her off my mind. And I think about this woman, Solomon's wife, who took her son's hand. And I think about all of the worries and the joy and the love that our mothers endure, not because they have to, but because moms want to. There's the mystery of love. So I pray for Mother Mary. I pray for every mother. I pray for every woman who has sacrificed from love. And I pray to Divine Mother, Father, God, who knows all of this and still loves us. What a joy. What a gift. So make every moment count. Enjoy the tragedy and the joy, because all of it speaks to why we're here. To love. That's it. And to be a sacrifice of love for others.